All right, so this is question number 21, and this question asks which equation best represents the relationship between x and y in the graph. So we're looking at the relationship between x and y. So it means we're trying to find which of these equations matches this graph. Okay, so again, you're going to do your analyze, plan, and evaluate. Okay, for the analyze part, you're going to find the points on your graph. For the plan part, you're going to create a table using your points. And then for evaluate, you're going to substitute your x value to see if you get your y value. So let's go ahead and find our points on our table, on our graph, sorry, to create our table. So I'm going to pick my first point, my second point, and then lastly this point down here. Okay, so now we're going to use those to create our table in order to be able to evaluate. Okay, so we're doing our plan part now. So in order to get to my first dot, which is on 3, do I need to go left or right? Well, I don't need to go left or right. I just need to go straight up. And I'm going straight up 3. So since I did not go left or right, my x is 0. And I went up 3 points, so that is my y is a positive 3. Okay? So then we're going to go ahead and get to our next point. And our next point is right here at this dot right there. Okay, so how am I going to get to that dot, to that point? So again, I start at 0, 0. So am I going to move over left or right to get to that dot? Well, I got to move over right 1. And then once I move over to the right one, I go up 1. So that means that my x is 1 and my y is also 1. Okay? So now we're going to go ahead and get to my third dot. And again, I'm going to start at 0, 0. And to get to that, to get to this dot here, am I going to have to go left or right? So, well, I have to go right. And how many do I have to go right? Well, I have to go 3 right. And once I get 3 spaces to the right, I have to go down 3. So I went 3 to the right, so that's a positive 3. But I went down, so since I'm going down, if you notice, my negatives are underneath that x-axis. So now we're going to go ahead and pick one of these to see which gives us, we're going to pick an x value and a y value to see which is correct. So I'm going to pick 1 and 1. I just feel like that's easier. So I'm going to plug it in. So my y is 1. 3. My x is also 1. Okay. So I'll have to see, oh, sorry. Go away. Okay. So I have to see which of these is correct. So I have to see if this works. So 3 times 1 is 3 minus 2. Well, 3 minus 2 is 1. So that worked. But we have to check if all these are going to work. So then you have y equals a negative 1/2 x plus 3. Okay. So again, 1 equals a negative 1/2 times 1 plus 3. Well, a negative 1/2 times 1, a positive 1, is a negative 1/2. So you have a negative 1/2 plus 3. So you have a negative 1/2 plus 3. 1 equals, one's negative, one's positive. So what do you do there? You would have to subtract. So it is 2.5. Did that work? Is that what we wanted for our y? No, we wanted 1 as our answer. So B did not work. So you would go through and check the other two to see if they would work. So you would have y equals a negative 2x plus 3. So you would have to substitute 1 for the y, 2 for the x, because remember we're using that set of numbers, plus 3. And then you would also do the same thing with D. Y equals 2x plus 3 halves. Oops. Let me fix. Or I substitute the y plus 3 halves. So you have to see if they give you, again, the correct answer. If these don't work, then you know that A is correct. But if one of these also works, then you have to pick another set of numbers. So my next set of numbers I would pick would either be, you could pick either one of those numbers, maybe I'm going to let you choose, but then you would only have to check the, I would check the second one that also worked, okay? And if it works with those, you would only check the 2 that worked. You wouldn't have to check all 4, okay? So go ahead and finish that one off, and make sure you show your work. So I did the first couple for you. So I did, this was A, this was B, so I did the first 2, and then this was C and D. So C and D I kind of just plugged in for you, okay? So I'll be nice and I'll do 1 equals, what's negative 2 times a positive 1? Well, that's negative 2 plus 3. So negative 2 plus 3, or are your signs same or different? Different. So what do you do when your signs are different? Subtract. So that is correct. So C also works. So you have to try D, see if it works, and then you're going to have to check those 2 using one of the other set of numbers. Okay? So finish off checking. Well, I'll check D with you since you're going to have to check the other 2. At least 2 more. So we've plugged it in. So 1 equals 2 times 1, 2 plus 3 halves. Is that going to equal 1? No. So it's either A or C. So you need to check A or C. And I'm going to tell you to use 3 and negative 3. Okay? If you want to use the 0, you can. If you think that's going to be easier, that's fine. So use one of the other 2 sets of numbers to check A and C to see which one's correct. All right?